Well, we work, we earn salaries, we pay taxes, and eventually we get our retirement money. That's the pattern for most people, but not for artists. Many artists get hardly any pension payments after retirement because their income is unstable and tax payments are hard to track. It's a problem everywhere. But there is one man who's trying to do something about it, and he has extended his plan to China. Let's see how he pictures the future on this week's Light Bulb.
Vincent van Gogh, one of the world's greatest artists, lived in sorrow and desperation. He only sold one painting during his lifetime. Claude Monet only became world famous when he was 70 years old. So being an artist is risky, and the good life comes along only when you're famous. But when can that be? Everybody likes old art, but what about old artists? For centuries, most have just had to make do as best they could. But Israeli Moti Shniberg is an art fancier and financier, and he thinks he's come up with a better deal.
Artists, they don't have future security. Like they don't have any kind of pension. And it's not really good because artists can be today like the best artist, really successful, really promise, and in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, it's not anymore. And the artist is artists that putting all their life about their art, and by sudden they don't have future security. I thought we need some solution here.
Shniberg, economist Tang and former museum director David Ross established the Art Pension Trust in New York 10 years ago. APT is a long-term investment program with a current pool of about 250 contemporary artists in each of the locations in which it works. Each promises to provide the trust with 20 artworks over a 20-year period. APT stores the works and then decides when to sell them. When an artwork is sold, the artist receives 40% of the sale. 32% of each sale is distributed among other member artists, and APT keeps 28% for itself and its costs. Shniberg says selecting the right artist for the pool is crucial. It is almost impossible to predict when an artist will reach the top. So what APT provides is risk diversification, allowing each artist to share in the future commercial value of the other's works. The 250 artists in the pool must cover different ranges of contemporary art. Hopefully, the range of styles in the collection will ensure that at least some of them will be highly profitable in the future. When artists apply to join APT, the trust selects 3 advisors to review their work. They can only get in when at least 2 of the advisors agree.
We are receiving many applications from artists, from all over the world. And every year we're selecting it's less than 5% from the application. It's only artists that are the most promising artists of this generation. We have to be very careful because the artist pension trust model, it's all about risk diversification. And risk diversification, it's meaning it's very much depends who is in the pool. The way that we're doing the selection, it's coming by about 100 different curators that help us on the decision process, that checking the artist and voting the artist, some curator from the same country, some international curator. So all of this must be done very carefully, and it's for the benefit of the rest of the artists in the Artist Pension Trust.
After the first pool in New York was filled, APT then reached out to other art centers across the globe, including LA, London, Berlin, and Dubai, to find pools of other artists with investment potential. And of course, it could not ignore a country with a long tradition of art, and which was yet still a young market in terms of prices. The Beijing pool for Asian artists was opened in 2006 and was fully subscribed last year.
For the last year, APT in China has been working through Simon Murray & Company, a Pan-Asian investment firm. Hamilton Tang from SMC is the director of APT Beijing. He believes the Chinese art market has great potential, but admits it's very speculative at the moment. According to New York art market researcher ArtNet, the total trading volume of Chinese artworks slid to $6.9 billion in 2012, a 37% drop from 2011. Average auction prices were down about 1/3 year-on-year. Tang says SMC had been trying to find a way into the art market and chose to work with APT because it minimizes investment risks by broadening its investment scale. And considering APT's record in other world markets, they're doing just fine.
Over the years, we've always looked at art as an interesting asset class, but we could never quite find the right way to get involved in the world of art. I think the key differentiating factor is that, number one, APT already has a 10-year history, a 10-year track record. Number two, it is truly global and has scale. In fact, today it is the biggest contemporary art collection in the world. And number three, as I mentioned before, it has a very unique structure and purpose that addresses both the commercial needs of artists and also provides other benefits.
APT Beijing now has around 70 million artists in its collection. Rongrong, who joined the group in March, says artists usually work on their own, but APT connects the artists and makes them a community.
像我们这个工作的人群，可能有的时候你没有固定的工作，可能这个阶段你可能就是说生活比较有保障，但是你不能保证下个阶段是什么样的情况，就会说特别，当然艺术家就会特别感兴趣，因为你如果说能够从里边拿到一些别的艺术家的帮助，我觉得其实是特别好的。
Another domestic artist, Shan, says the reason he joined a foreign art trust is that many successful artists abroad joined APT as well, and that was very encouraging for a young artist like him.
他这个在纽约进行的比较早，就是在这个基金里的名单的很多艺术家，纽约的一些艺术家都是我比较喜欢的，然后他们就事业上运行的也非常的成功，所以我觉得这个就是相对来说比较吸引我的一个地方，因为艺术圈其实是特别小的一个，就是这种信用是非常重要的一个事儿啊。其实如果你不好的话，那这些人其实都是事业比较成功的人，他也不会轻易去选择跟一个不太好的一个基金去合作。
After artists hand in their works, APT not only stores them, but uses its connections to exhibit them at different museums around the world.
APT, this past year alone, has been involved with lending its collection to over 200 museums and other nonprofit organizations for exhibitions. So this is a fantastic opportunity for artists in this country to gain exposure outside of China to other markets in Asia and indeed internationally, because we're very active in working with museums around the world, including the very best, to increase the exposure of such artists.
Artists usually sell their works through galleries. However, most Chinese galleries don't have connections with museums and exhibition centers overseas, which means local artists lack opportunity to get in touch with the international market. Local artists say the price of Chinese artworks still have a lot of room to grow, and that they're only making 1/6 of what artists of a similar level would be making in other countries.
语言是一个可能最大的交流的障碍。我觉得，因为我能嘚啵几句英语，可能会稍微好一点，但可能其他艺术家可能会确实面临像你说的这样的问题，就是缺少这样的平台，美术馆的一些平台来做展。我觉得这个平台是非常重要的。画廊其实最后都是跟进的这么一个东西。你有了这些资历之后，画廊就会慢慢就会跟着你，它不是说你要去跟着画廊去走。
APT has also established the APT Institute, a non-profit organization to help local artists with their career development.
We have created a program called Global Connect, which allows, say, a Chinese artist that is part of APT to go to Paris or to Dubai or to Sao Paulo to meet other APT artists, to work in their studios. We help them with artist residency programs, with applying for fellowships. So there's a whole support and network and service that we offer for free to artists.
This is especially popular with Chinese artists. Rongrong says she applied for similar exchange programs on her own and found it quite a challenge.
一个你可能就是说不是特别了解哪些的项目适合你，项目其实非常非常多，然后你也不知道怎么去选择。第二可能就是说竞争非常激烈，有很多的艺术家在申请。那如果 APT 已经帮你做了一道过滤了，他们再推荐给我们 APT 的艺术家，然后甚至帮助我们就是推荐，那就会成功率就会高很多。
Everything seems going smoothly, but the trust is so new that no one knows yet just what the financial benefits will be. Most artworks ATP has collected was not yet on sale. Shniberg is very confident in the ATP model, however, and is thinking about expanding it.
Shniberg says they have built an online database for all APT artists and their works to supply to buyers around the world. They're receiving plenty of purchase requests, but are not in a rush to sell. They believe in addition to diversification, time is another crucial factor in their business model.
We have started globally to sell some, but not much. This is by design. There are two important concepts to APT and to hopefully maximizing the value of the pension pool for the artists. So we have a strong belief based on some very thorough statistical work and analysis done by one of our founders that art typically appreciates over time. So we have to be patient if we want to increase the size and therefore the value of the pension pool.
APT New York gradually began to sell a small part of its collection in September. The income means that artists in the pool will receive payments once a year, every April. All sales must be approved by the sales committee of APT to confirm the price and identity of the buyers. Moti says they prefer to sell to museums instead of to individual buyers. At the same time, APT is also upgrading its model and says that APT Beijing is its last regional trust. The company has, however, already opened APT Global One Trust, which combines 628 artists from different continents within a single special pool.
It's better because sometimes you have kind of a finance movement that it's really not up to the art, that the art, like if you look, for instance, right now on the art market in India, a few years ago, the art market in India was completely booming, great, and you have there so many great artists, and we do have a lot of APT artists as well in India. Then we have as well in Brazil. What's happened over the last few years, like recently, like the art market in India went down, and the art market in Brazil went up. APT Global One, meaning not anymore like APT Beijing or APT New York in one, because all was completely full and oversubscribed. APT Global One, it's the international trust that artists in New York can benefit from the success of artists in Beijing, and artists in Beijing or in Shanghai can benefit from a great success of artists in New York or in LA or in Brazil or in Dubai or any other country. So the beauty around it, it's a kind of artist community, global artist community.
Hamilton Tang says around 60 million artists have been selected for the APT Global One Trust. Starting next year, they will slowly begin selling the collections of APT Beijing. Local artists are looking forward to see how much the trust will actually be paying them.
我们都很好奇，也很期待。当然，你肯定有很多我们说不清晰的地方，但是他们一旦启动以后，可能我们会看得更加清晰。就是说，这个APT 组织到底怎么样才能够真正帮助到艺术家？所以就是说我们现在大家都在期待吧。
Globalization comes in for its fair share of criticism, but here's one area where it may be working, giving Chinese modern artists the recognition and the support that their increasingly popular work deserves.